How's it going, riders? Today we are doing an oil change on a 2015 Harley Davidson Sportster 1200 Super Low. Alright, here's the Super Low, and today we will be using the V-Twin 2050 Mobile 1 and the KN 171C C for Chrome. Let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we do is you have to drain it, and what we do is we pull this piece right here out, and that's where the drain hose is. So we'll do that right now and start draining. Okay, so this is the clamp right here. It's a C clamp that you just pull out, and we'll be unscrewing the top so we can start draining it. Okay, so he's going to pretty much unscrew that so it starts draining out.
Right over there. There's like some shit in there.
Just unscrew it, let it drain, and that's the first step. Okay, we got it off, and now it's leaking, and this is the piece that you took off of there. So now, in order for you to make that drain faster, you have to open where the oil comes in, right here. So in order for you to do it, is you have to twist it and turn it, and just loosen it.
And turn it a little angle.
There you go. That should be good enough.
On that figure.
Then it's draining much faster and easier. After this is all drained, we are going to be draining into primary, which is right over there. That piece right there. We just have to unscrew it and drain it. The tool that we're going to be using to taking that drain plug off is a 16 millimeter wrench. We took the drain plug off. Just to let you guys know, that thing on top is a magnet, so that pretty much gets all the crap that's inside the transmission. Or yeah, pretty much on this one it's just the transmission, so we just got to clean the top off, and that rubber bushing, and if it needs to be changed, it looks good from here, just change it up. All right, now he's cleaning the drain plug, and as he's cleaning it, next step is to take these off, because that's where we're going to be pouring the oil in for the transmission. Right now we're going to put the drain plug back into that piece so we could get the engine oil drained. It looks like it's drained pretty good. We're going to start that right now. We're going to put it back together and start the primary. So right now we just put the drain plug back in, and now we're going to put it back in where it was from the beginning. Okay, so now we're going to take the primary cover off, and we're going to be doing it on a star pattern. So today we are going to be starting from here, 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 then this last. And this is last because as soon as you take all the screws off, that whole thing just falls off. So we just got to make sure that we are ready when that time comes. As far as size, I bought these separately, so they're not the accurate size, but right now I'm using 5/32 for this one, and for this, the top is actually a T27. So you just make sure you check your own thing, because this isn't the stock Harley one. I had to buy these because I made a mistake and I broke them. They're also very soft, so when you're twisting it, be careful that you don't strip them. Okay, so we've already taken 5 of them. We're gonna take this one off, and as I said, like as soon as you start unscrewing it, it's gonna get loose. So make sure that on this last one, you're holding onto it before you take that last one off. Okay. All right, so we got all screws off. Now he's gonna take that off and I'll show you the inside. Show me the front. All right, so just keep in mind that in order for you to find out which one goes on top, just follow that Harley, the HD symbol goes on top. Also, what you don't see here is the bushing. It's actually right over here. It's stuck over there, and we'll be taking it off. When you guys take this off, make sure you don't lose that spring or that rubber bushing that's on the thing. Here, you can pull that out.
With the spring?
No, not the rubber. That's no, just the rubber piece. This piece.
Oh, dang, I didn't even see that. That's funny.
Make sure you don't lose that. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the drain plug back in and tighten it up. Everything is pretty good. Then the next thing after that, we're going to be taking the oil filter off, which is right here. Okay, the drain plug is in there. So we just put it in there by hand. Next thing is going to be torquing it tight. Torquing is very important to Harley motorcycles, so you gotta make sure you use the right torque specs. This one is being torqued at 19 foot-pounds, not inch, 19 foot-pounds. That's very important. You don't want to over-tighten it or under-tighten it. It has to be just right. The torque specs is between 17 to 21. I just go 19 in between, just so it's, just right. This is the torque wrench I got from Harbor Freight for 20 bucks. It's worth it. We'll be torquing the primary drain plug 19 foot-pounds. I've had this for years. It's worked pretty good. I recommend you getting it. You don't have to get a professional one, just one that works, and this one works fine, and it's been working with me for years. All right, the drain plug's tight. Everything is good on the engine and the primary. Now we're going to be taking the filter off. Keep in mind that when you take this filter off, it is going to leak oil. It's going to be a mess. So you just got to make sure there's something in the bottom, or there's this tool that I picked up. You put it under here, and it pretty much picks up the oil that leaks out. Okay, we got the filter out. We did make a little mess, but we have a rag over there to try to clean it out. So now we're gonna clean it out really good. We already wiped it down, then put the new filter in. All right, so this is the new filter we're gonna be putting in. It's wrapped in plastic. Now that rubber piece in the front, it already has some lube on it, so you don't have to worry about putting oil in it. We're gonna open it up and put it in here. All right, this is the new filter, nice and pretty. So when you put it in there, make sure you do it by hand. Don't over tighten it, don't under tighten it, just snug. Okay, now we are going to be putting the primary oil, or the oil in the primary cover. So in order for you to do that, is that line right there, you just have to fill up oil enough to where it touches that bottom line. That's pretty much how I've been doing it for years. I'm not sure the exact cords, which I should find out, but yeah, as soon as when the oil hits that first line right there, the teeth, which will show you, that's when you stop. So we're gonna pour oil, and I'll let you know exactly where I'm talking about. All right, just to be safe, I don't want to mess with these wires on the transmission, so we're gonna be taking it off, and we're gonna be pouring the oil in there. All right, now we're gonna be putting oil in the primary. So to explain better, we add oil until it hits. Let me see that first line right there.
Oh, the silver line.
The little silver line, yeah. We just have to have enough to where it goes there, and that should be good enough. That's how I've learned it. That's how I've been doing it, and everything's been good since. So we're gonna pour the oil, and I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. Okay, now that we got the oil in the primary with the transmission, we are going to be putting the primary cover back and the chain, whatever, cover back. And when we tighten it, it's going to be 100 inch-pounds, not foot, 100 inch-pounds. And like I said, on this part, you put it in there by hand, then use the torque wrench and tighten it in a star pattern. Okay, so we added about 28 ounces of oil, and pretty much right where that line is, that's where you stop. We pretty much put it over there. we're gonna pretty much cover this, then cover that. Also, that little groove over here is for this little groove over here. As long as you put it in right with the HD sign on top, it should like go right in. Okay, the hard part is trying to get that rubber piece in there. But once it's in there, probably maybe you should have the primary cover right away. Also, when you put the primary cover, make sure that that spring is right in the center of that thing and not bent. Otherwise, you're not gonna like what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's not good. Okay, now we're gonna put in the primary back. Remember the HD right here is gonna be going on top, so you know, plus it also has this little lip over here. So the HD goes on top. Also this rubber thing, you could either put it back over here, which we are going to do it before we put this cover in. And just make sure that when it's on there right. You don't want to pinch it wrong, otherwise it'll leak. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get that rubber bushing, put it around that thing, then use the cover to and hand tighten it with a screw. All right, we managed to be able to put this damn thing in. We started with the top screw, pretty much just put it in there and hand tighten it, you know, just hand tighten it, just so this thing stays there. So now we're gonna be putting the rest of the screws back in there by hand before we torque it. Okay, now that the screws are in hand tight, we are going to be torquing them to specs, which is 100 inch-pounds on each screw. Right over here and over here. Now remember, when we do this part, it's gonna be star pattern. So we're going to be starting from the top to the bottom. You know, we're gonna just do this. You know, some pentagram or some shit. They are all tight, 100 inch-pounds, all torqued. So next thing we're gonna do now is put oil in the engine. To take this off, you push it, then you twist it, then it comes off. And there's actually guidelines in there on how much to put on. What we're going to do is we're going to start with 2 quarts of oil, then start it and top it off. Okay, so the oil change is done. We put 2.5 quarts in the engine. We started it, tested it. So there's 2.5 quarts in the engine and about 28 ounces of oil in the primary. So in order for you to do it, just check your specs. You make sure after you put 2 in, you start it, maybe take it for a test ride, just to make sure everything goes down. And if you have any questions, just let us know. Okay, we just finished the oil change on the 2015 Harley Davidson Sportster 1200 SuperLow Custom. The engine took about 2.5 quarts of oil, and the primary, we did about 28 ounces of oil, 28 ounces, which is the same as my street glide, which is good to know because, you know, I'm trying to save everything. As far as specs, please do your own specs because these are just specs for our bikes. And, you know, just do your specs and figure out what your, you know, how many ounces you put in there. Sorry if it was a little sloppy. I was trying to show my son how to do the oil change. And, you know, he learned, so next one will be better. I might do this video again when the time comes and see if he knows how to do it. But other than that, if you guys have any questions, just send a comment. Please subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys soon. Ride safe.